Welcome back to my channel. This week was a very short week for my students and I because I only saw my students on Monday and Wednesday this week. Tuesday we had a day of district-wide professional development, and Thursday and Friday we were off because I'm in New Jersey and it's teacher convention. I thought I'd talk a little bit about what I did in my college prep chemistry class this week, so I wanted to incorporate some sort of phenomenon to kind of start off our unit on bonding. So bonding incorporates both ionic and covalent bonding, but it also incorporates nomenclature. And out of all the topics that are in the bonding unit, the nomenclature part is such an essential skill. It's so important that they understand and that they get it. So I wanted to really make sure that the phenomenon hit on the naming and formula writing part of this. So the phenomenon was where the students were basically taking any kind of product that they use, whether it be a cosmetic product, a cleaning product, a food product, and they had to look at all the different ingredients. So it was a consumer product chemistry assignment, and I wanted them to pick things that were meaningful to them, things that they use on a regular basis. My students had to select 2 ingredient labels. They had to select 5 ingredients for them to basically come up with their use, like the utility, like why are they in the product. They had to look at their chemical name, their formula, classify it as ionic or covalent, and then what they had to do was take a picture of their label so that I could see it as well. I constructed a Google Doc for them to use so they could organize their data. I also incorporated all of the different team members in their learning team as well, so that, for example, if somebody picked a lot of organic compounds that were in there, more than likely they would find some ionic ones with some of the other teammates. So they were able to kind of look at this data and help them understand the differences between the ionic compounds and the covalent compounds. It worked incredibly well. I will say that the students were very engaged, they were very interested, and I think that they were very appreciative. They thought this was a really cool assignment, and they liked that they were able to work with their other learning team members. And there were a couple of things that you need to be careful of. So if you are doing this with your kids or you're thinking about doing something like this, you want to make sure that your students understand the differences between elements, compounds, and mixtures. Now, obviously, since we're talking about naming and formula writing, we want to make sure that your kids are picking out compounds, not elements, and certainly not mixtures. And so one of the common issues that I see with a project like this is that the kids want to pick mixtures. So any words that say, for example, extract or oil or any kind of fragrance, these are typically mixtures, and I told them to make sure they stay away from them. They should not be in their actual data table. The other thing is, I said look for ingredients that can be found or kind of sound like they're found from the periodic table. That way it'll make it a little bit easier for them to research. And then another thing that was really helpful was giving them like some insight and just saying make sure that you pick something with a large variety of ingredients. So let's say, for example, if you're researching an ingredient and you can't find a formula or the utility, it might be really helpful to have other ingredients to choose from. That way you don't have to scrap the entire ingredient label. So like I said, it was a great activity, and I did it all through Google Docs so that it would make it really easy for me to look at the progress of the students and also provide feedback really easily using the comment feature in Google Docs. So I think it was a great ending to a short week. The kids did a phenomenal job, and you know, believe it or not, it's the end of the first marking period. I can't believe it. So with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, it's a short video because it's a short week. But I will be sure to check in with you next week to talk a little bit about my marking period procedures.